Welcome everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already clicked the subscribe button, I'm attempting to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, we're here today to take a look at Whitesnake Slide It In 35th Anniversary Box. This has got 6 CDs, a DVD, hardback books, some memorabilia, so we'll take a look at that. But to give you a little context, I want to give you some history around it here. So David Coverdale actually got his start singing for Deep Purple from 73 to 76. But following Deep Purple's breakup in 76, he did release 2 solo albums. He released the first one called Whitesnake, which of course later generates the name for the band, and then North Winds. That early sound of Whitesnake was more of straight ahead blues rock akin to Deep Purple than what we know them for, which is that more commercial era of them from like 84 to 1990. Now, the reason for this may be the fact that they actually had 3 Deep Purple members in their lineup very early on. You have David Coverdale on vocals, of course, John Lord on keyboards, and Ian Paice on drums. Those 3 guys were from Deep Purple. Then Neil Murray on bass, Mickey Moody, and Bernie Marsden both on guitar. And their first release was the Snakebite EP, which came out in 1978. And it was followed by their debut of Trouble, which was also 1978. Pete Solly played the keyboards on Snakebite, but John Lord joined for the album Trouble. And David Dow was the drummer on those first 2 releases, and the follow-up, Love Hunter, which came out in 1979. It's always been my favorite album cover by them. Now, in 1980, they released Ready and Willing, and this was the first time that they had all 3 of those Deep Purple members on it. Incidentally, that album there actually has the song Fool for Your Lovin' on it, the original version, which of course would be re-recorded later on for Slip of the Tongue in 1990 and be a huge hit for them. Now, at the time, David was actually accused of reforming Deep Purple through the back door by bringing in one by one these ex-Deep Purple members in it. They did go on and record with that lineup 2 more releases, Come and Get It in 1981, and then Saints and Sinners in 1982. And this album here, actually the one we're listening to in the background, features the original versions of Here I Go Again and Crying in the Rain, of course being really big hits in 1987 for them. Now, in 1983, the band recorded Slide It In, and with that lineup, it was David Coverdale on vocals, John Lord on keyboards, Mickey Moody on guitar, but now new members, Mel Galley on guitar from Trapeze, and Cozy Powell, the powerhouse drummer that he is. And so this album here, Slide It In, and of course we'll look at the box set in a moment. Now, the initial release of this album in the UK drew mixed reviews, mainly for its flat sound. And so, due to the fact that Mickey Moody had already been replaced by former Thin Lizzy and ex-Tigers of Pantang guitarist John Sykes, and Neil Murray had returned to the band at this point, their US label Geffen Records insisted that they re-record the album with these new parts and then remix it. And so in 1984, that remixed album with that new punchy, more commercial sound was released, and it had the big hits Slide It In, Slow and Easy, Love Ain't No Stranger, and was certified double platinum in the US. So let's take a look at this, and then I'll continue on with a little bit of history just to close things up for you guys. So this box just lifts right up. There's the back side of it showing you everything that's in it, and as I said, it's got 6 CDs and a DVD. We've got the US remix of that album with those re-recorded guitars and bass, 35th anniversary remaster. You've got the original UK mix with the original guitars and bass on it, and you get that one remastered. And then what's cool is you get the 35th anniversary remix 2019 version, where they really punch everything up in it. Disc 4 is called Monitor Mixes and Intros. From 1983, and so you get some really cool early demos to hear what this thing sounded like before they went into the studio. It's also got John Lord's final live performance with the band. Disc 5 is a live show in Glasgow, Scotland from 1984. Then Disc 6 in here is early rough mixes, original demos, some outtakes, more demos. But what I really like is at the end of the disc, they have something called Unfinished Symphonies. It's got a whole bunch of demo tracks that are really raw, and not fully completed, but you get to hear songs that were started that were never completed for this. I got some really cool ones like Body Heat, Gypsy and You, Prayer for the Dying, songs like that off here that, man, I really would have loved to have heard those fleshed out and finished. And, you know, maybe one day David Coverdale will. The DVD in here has music videos for it, live clips, and it's also got that John Lord final performance Whitesnake show from 1984 in here. All right, so it's just a lift top box, comes right off like that, nothing on the inside. And then you can see right on top you got some goodies. This is a tour book. It's always my favorite part of these things that they do. And you just pull the tab and things lift out. There's this poster. Then we got the hardback book here, and I'll go through that in a minute. And you can see the discs are underneath that, and I will pull those out too. Well, let's thumb through this tour book real quick. I always like this because, first of all, the original tour books are just too big and wieldy. Also, to try to get a hold of some of these older ones, they just don't last very long, and they're usually not in very good condition when I try to find them off eBay and stuff. So being able to get them like this, all pristine and down in a little bit smaller size, I always really like. And then it does come with a poster. And we'll open this up. This is a really big one here. Very, very cool picture of the art for the album. You can see that with the lady and the snake. Again, another favorite album cover of mine. All right, then you get a really great book, hardcover book. A couple different images there. Got some really great photos of the band. You get a full history on this thing. All kinds of news clippings and photos and pictures of 7 inches and single releases and reviews. I mean, they really do this up well in this book, in my opinion. You get all the information too of the stuff that we're listening to in the back, you know. You get pictures of magazine releases and just tour stuff. Like, everything is in this. It's a really well done cataloging that period of the band. And then again, we're gonna pull out the discs as you can see the individual ones. And I like this too because all of the discs are individual. And so you can, you know, take these out and just listen to the disc. And they do come not in any particular sleeve, but it do have a protective sleeve on it, and that's nice. And so again, yeah, every one of them does have its own sleeve. This is the special edition, but it's cool because they use alternate outtakes. I actually like this album cover better than the one that they ended up using for it, but it's cool because they do all these different outtake photos from the original album cover. And then this one here is really great. And then this one. All right, with the, and then this one here, the DVD that's on here. All right, and so just in conclusion on this, once they began recording to follow up the Slide It In album in 1985, it had to be put on hold in early '86 because David contracted a sinus infection. When it was finally finished and released in '87, and again, that's why there was a 3-year-long split on it, this was their most commercial and biggest selling album, going 8 times platinum. So that 1987 the self-titled box set you see behind me there, when that came out, was just huge for them. And it contained those re-recorded songs from early on, Here I Go Again and Crying in the Rain, which became very big for them. And then the follow-up 1990s Slip of the Tongue, the lineup would change once again. The album would be all written by Adrian Vandenberg with David Coverdale, but due to an injury, he couldn't record it. So they brought Steve Vai in, and Steve Vai puts a really great twist to all that Adrian Vandenberg stuff. And it contained the re-recording of Full Fear Loving, and then was certified platinum in the US. And then following the tour, David Coverdale actually breaks up Whitesnake to form Coverdale Page with Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page. And once that's done, he does reform Whitesnake in 1984 and tours for the Greatest Hits album that they put out at the time. And since that time, they've recorded another 5 studio albums And ultimately, with their latest album here, Flesh and Blood, which came out in 2019, and the lineup on this has Reb Beach on guitar, and he's been in Winger, Dokken, Alice Cooper, Joel Hoekstra on guitar. He's been in Night Ranger. You got Tommy Aldridge on drums, you know, returning because he's been in the band for a long time. And then Michael Devon on bass and Michel Lupe on keyboards. I think I said his name right there. So that's the rough history of Whitesnake, and of course the unboxing there of the great Slide It In album. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope everyone has a great day. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.